All right, everybody, welcome in. How are you? Welcome to Wednesday. Right, let's see what's going on today. What do you need to know about? Today in Pathfinders, we're going to talk about the state of affairs with divine feminine, divine masculine on the planet. Been getting a lot of downloads lately, even independently of the readings. So I want to share those with you. I'm going to share some information that I've gotten about what's happening on the path, on the spiritual path. So that's today in Pathfinders. And then tomorrow in Astrology, I'm going to be talking about the fall. What happens after this new moon eclipse in Virgo, 29 degrees of Virgo? What happens after? We're heading into a season that has a lot of internal realization, but actually like understanding your own feelings. Maybe it's very watery fall. We're having a water trine energy going on this fall, moving into fire next year. So if you want to jump onto my 2026 forecast, that's below. I'm going to do 3 live sessions, take questions, I'm going to teach you about what is happening next year and how you can harness it for yourself. And if you're part of the Astrology Foundations course, you're going to get that as part of it. Okay. That's part of that class. That foundations class happens after those 3 lives. Okay. All right. Let's see where we're going. Oh yeah. One more thing. Next week, thank you for the suggestions. We are looking at North Node again, your mission and purpose and how it evolves over the course of your life on the 23rd. If you want to jump onto that class, it's also below. View from above. Get the big picture. Voyage of the heart. Stepping into power. Surrendering to the journey. Yeah. So the more you try to control things right now, it's okay. I'm getting this image. A lot of you may not live in the Northeast or live where there's ice and snow, but here, one of the things they teach you is how to drive when your car starts to slide in the snow. They teach you about, turning into the curve and all of that kind of stuff. There's definitely something about like not tensing up and allowing, just not jamming on the brakes, doing like trying to control the car. There's something about going with the vehicle. All right. I know it's scary. It's super scary when that happens. But that's where the power is, to be able to not overcorrect the vehicle so it starts spinning around the other way, which can happen, which happened to a friend of mine, which is terrifying. This is really about learning how to sort of lean in to the spiritual path, right? This is a balloon. You ever try to steer a balloon? Yeah. And also this boat without any oars, without any motor. She's just like letting it do its thing. There's a certain amount of you that have a vehicle that you're in. And there's another boat in this one here. Another boat, Voyage of the Heart, right down there. There's something about learning when to actively take a leadership role and when to go with the flow. Like I said, this fall is a very watery kind of experience. We have a lot of energy moving into Scorpio. We got a lot of energy in Pisces, that Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. Jupiter is still in Cancer until the middle part of next year. I'll talk about all of those things. And I just want to say to you that this feels a little bit like the difference between learning when to stand in your power and really step in and take control, very Aries energy, which is what we had over the summer. We had Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and now they're back in Pisces or getting back into Pisces. And it's a different vibe. All right. It's a different vibe. It's like the difference between, driving a train, which is on tracks that goes in a certain direction, or just kind of being in a boat on the water with no way of steering it. Okay. And I feel like we're going to be in a boat on the water with no way of steering it. And that is going to feel, obviously we have that North Node in Pisces right now, also in Pisces, a water sign, South Node in Virgo. Virgo is very much like, step by step, how do I manage this? It's very practical. It is a mutable sign, so it can handle change. But Virgo is also very much like I need to have a system. I need to have a set of instructions. I need to, right? And that's not what we're doing. That's South Node. That's about the past. We're going towards something that's less concrete, more ephemeral, more heart-centered. Okay, so we're moving into a world that's going to require of us to be more heart-centered. And, that's quite a courageous thing at this stage of the game in this world. To be heart-centered is possibly the most courageous thing you can be. So underneath is the Seven of Wands, the Strength card. Boy, this King of Wands just keeps showing up. King of Wands, Knight of Wands, and the Three of Wands. A lot of wands here. Six of Wands. So there's definitely there's Leo energy a couple of times here. Actually, this is Aries. Leo here with the courage. This has been, wands are fire energy. And this is literally like what has been going on this past summer. Okay, so there seems to be some kind of like standoff or, victory being asserted. But I just feel like there's a lot more of this game to be played. Okay, like that's not, that's like football teams like, declaring victory in the second quarter. It's like, nope. Nope. Ace of Swords. 8 of Swords. Oh my word. 10 of Swords. You truth tellers out there are up against it. Really up against it right now. Some of you are letting go of relationships. Some of you are just, had it about in terms of truth. What did I say today? Carl Sagan. There's a really great quote by Carl Sagan that I wrote down this morning. I'm going to read it to you. And let's see. The truth tellers. I was thinking about the truth tellers this morning, and I was doing my own kind of journaling. There's a quote by Carl Sagan. There are many people who genuinely cannot tell the difference between an idea that is comforting and one that is true. So an idea that is comforting, keeping us in our comfort zone, versus an idea that is true. So there are a lot of people on this planet right now who, we all dip into this, I feel, here and there, but there's a lot of people who, or there may be many people, I'll just say many, who prefer to live in a land of their own opinion, calling it fact. Okay, a land of the opinions, right? And it's really the truth tellers really threaten those people, because truth tellers are based in, some kind of provable fact, right? And we are at a time on this planet where what's real and what's not real is being questioned a lot. What has merit and what doesn't? That's an opinion. What has merit and what doesn't? And until there's some kind of shared understanding about those things, there's going to be this sense of like, I don't see it the way you do, and this is done. So there's a lot of relationships that have gone south because of this, because people are mixing up the idea of an opinion and making that the truth, but it's really just an opinion. Okay. 2 of Cups, the High Priestess, and the 7 of Swords. Okay. So also on the spiritual path, being able to know your intuition, being able to hear your intuition without it being overridden by gaslighting, or what was I said another thing this morning too that I was thinking about, that if your nervous system is all upset all the time, if you're in fight or flight mode all the time, you're overriding your nervous system. All right, you're really overriding it, and you can't tell the difference between opinion and fact. You just want to be safe, right? You just want to be safe again. And when your nervous system is dysregulated because of your own upbringing, you're in fight or flight mode all the time, then you're really going to, kind of grab on to things or people that are, you think, stabilizing you. But this is showing me that some of you may be grabbing onto relationships that aren't real or aren't true, aren't really based in honest feelings or honest communication or something like that. And the truth teller the truth teller in you on the spiritual path would kind of obliterate these relationships when you tell the truth. And that can be your truth, your personal truth. Now, yes, is that an opinion? Yeah. Yep. It's a perspective, actually. Let's just call it a perspective. When you're telling your truth, you're looking at your family system and you're like, this is abusive. You're telling your perspective about a thing, and that may be the objective truth. It's likely that most of you are truth tellers in your families and are the ones who are always being clobbered by other people who want to remain in these bubbles. Okay. And so there's a sense here of like, if I'm having trouble with my intuition, I can't tell an opinion from a lie, from a perspective, I can't tell because my intuition is being overridden by my nervous system that just keeps going like, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Like, regardless of what this is about. Okay. The Sun, Judgment, and the Two of Wands. So there's a decision here. This two cards, Judgment and the Two of Wands, are about a spiritual awakening and a new decision. So some of you who have been having a hard time, we've been talking about intuition in Pathfinders for over a year now. If you're not part of Pathfinders, the entire year of 2024, I did lessons about how to hear your intuition, how to tap into it, how to tell the difference between that and fear. So if you're wanting to get all those lessons, you can just jump onto Pathfinders. They're accessible by anybody who's in Pathfinders. This says to me that there's some kind of awakening that happens, that you are able to discern objective truth from opinion or from a frame, right? I used to work in the news media, and how you frame a story, it's basically like you frame it as, when I was working in it, was very different than it is now, but like this is what happened. And here's the supporting facts. And then this is what may happen next, right? But currently there's a lot of opinioning, and that sets the frame. This is the frame of a story, tells you, the viewer, this is what I want you to think about this story. I want you to think this is good or bad. I want you to think this is positive or negative. I want you to think this is something I should be angry about or something I should be happy about. That's what a framing of a story can do. It can basically say, okay, and you can think that this is what everybody must think, that, it must be, if they're framing it on the news this way, this is what the story must be, which of course, by now that that's not true. So this is really about you being able to have your own frame, being able to experience the world and know, based on your own intuition, being able to tell the difference between a comfortable lie and maybe a painful truth. I know which one I would want, and which one I have dealt with as a Sagittarius for a long time. That, being someone who believes in truth a lot, it's very hard to see that that is becoming objectified, and that is becoming twisted around, and that is becoming kind of, whoever says it, they're claiming that that's the truth. And so this is something that we're dealing with on a daily basis in 2025. And so this is really saying that on a personal level, there's something about overcoming information, and, being like, what, I didn't used to see this, but now I see this and I'm done with it. So some of you are really stepping up to your truth telling capabilities. And especially in relationships or with other people, you're better able to discern. We've talked a lot about narcissistic partners on this channel. You're better able to discern when someone is trying to tell you a comfortable lie rather than a painful truth. And or even a neutral truth, right? Something that just is, and being able to make that discernment. Now, I feel like this is saying some of you are opening up. Some of you are opening up right now to this high priestess energy. And it is gonna, if you have been embracing some comfortable lies in your life, that very act of learning to discern your intuition is going to upend stuff, because your nervous system is no longer overriding your perspective or your perception of what's happening around you. And on a level of spiritual awakening, as we head into spending more time in the 5D, I feel like that's a kind of experience where we're choosing our direction in life based on love, happiness, joy, freedom, moving away from toxicity, moving away from hate and rage and fear and all of that stuff, actively making that a priority in your life. And that's what I see happening here. I feel like this has taken courage. I feel like some of you have let go of long-term relationships. Some of you have the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands is about expectation. This has taken a lot of courage. And in fact, this the High Priestess with the Two of Cups, there's a new community, right? There's definitely a new community when you're kind of just like, the thing that matters most is being in alignment with true, authentic self, bar none. And what that means is a lot of societal expectations, a lot of the things that we thought that, well, this is how life works or whatever. You're realizing that that's just somebody's opinion. And when you choose to embrace love, you choose to embrace truth, there are going to be some people who don't like that. And I feel like we're at the very precipice, because of this water energy that we're going to be experiencing this fall. We're at the very precipice of us making some decisions, like right now in this Virgo new moon eclipse, because Virgo does say, I would like some structure. I would like some detail around this. I would like to make this a daily practice. And 29 degrees means we're tying up some loose ends. We're tying up some loose ends of places that don't accept truth tellers. And I believe that a lot of you, and I'm including myself in this, a lot of you have gone to great lengths to speak your truth and also allow for others to have their opinions. And if that becomes untenable, then that becomes untenable. So that's what I'm seeing here. And I feel like there's a new decision being made because there's a new level of consciousness coming in that's going to allow you to sort of more go with the flow of things. It's going to allow you to sort of pull up those expectations you might have had around how life works and be like, actually, I'm much more interested in consciousness and how spirit works and how the universe works, rather than these are the rules and regulations and structures that man has put in place. Man, meaning humankind, right? Versus I'm going to align with spiritual truths, right? I'm going to align with my connection to spirit, my connection to God, my connection to Yahweh, my connection to whatever, right? My connection to the universe. I'm aligning there. And it's only, pain and struggle are caused when we try to hold on to both. Some people are going to be let go. Some people maybe you never thought you'd let go of, but some people are going to be let go. And other people are going to come in. And I feel like there's beautiful new opportunity here for happiness and joy. And the more you can sort of be like, step into your power. This is definitely the courageous act right now. But the letting go, I think that's the real courageous act. Surrendering to allowing us to be in this 5D, and allowing yourself to be in the 5D, and moving away from comfortable lies and into truth, universal truth, right? Gravity doesn't care whether you believe in it. Okay. So moving into the 5D more here, the Ace of Swords coming up and playing a huge role in a lot of these readings lately. I'm starting to do the mid-month readings, and I just feel like truth here. Talk to me about truth. Six of Cups, the truth when you were a child, right? What was the truth then? Super duper moving target here. The Devil card, the Empress card, and the Queen of Swords. So I love that the Queen of Swords came out here. There's definitely something about the picture that was painted or the truth that was given to you as a child was something that was held by your family as this is how life works, or this is how we expect you to live your life, or this is what it means to be a success. This is what it means to be courageous. This is what it means to have love or give love. All these definitions that we've been given. I feel like a lot of things getting upended, right? And like down is up. So what is this lie? It's so interesting that, the Queen of Swords is here to say, you know what? I am going to align myself with that which I view as love. My intuition is telling me that sometimes love requires me to stand up for myself first. Okay. So, unconditional love for the self comes first. You can't have twin flame or conditional love or old ways of doing things until you have unconditional love for yourself. That means loving the parts of yourself that you're kind of like not super psyched about. You're like, yeah, I don't like this about myself. I like love on that stuff more. Yeah, I'm a little messy, or yeah, I have a hard time speaking my truth. I have a hard time holding my ground. I have a hard time. I want to make everybody happy, right? Like love on that stuff more, because it's not only it's kept you safe up until now, it has really laid the groundwork for this spiritual awakening. The Seven of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, Six of Pentacles, the Fool. Wow. And the Nine of Wands. I feel like the Seven of Swords is some kind of truth that's coming through that changes perspectives. And I will say to you that the 29th degree of Virgo sits right on the midheaven of the U.S. birth chart, the USA's birth chart, right there, midheaven. And the midheaven is about revealing. It's the reputation. Okay, 29 degrees of Virgo. It is the reputation. It is the way people see the U.S. in the world, reputation, but also like what you're known for. And we have so much going on with this. That is now in direct opposition to Saturn at 29 degrees of Pisces. We've got Neptune just about to go into Pisces. There's some squares going on. There's a lot of energy happening on this new moon eclipse. And, Virgo is about health and well-being. Moving toward Pisces, which is about our spiritual nature, moving toward the 5D consciousness, that's what we're being asked to do. Saturn is over there in Pisces. North Node is over there in Pisces. Saturn is there saying, this is not going to be a cakewalk. This is something that requires you to stand up and tell the truth to people that may not want to hear it. And recognizing when the difference between truth and your opinion, truth and your perspective. You have a truth, and you know what happened, right? You lived through a certain experience and you have the perspective on that, but there's a truth around that. Yeah, that was abusive. Yeah, that was. And I'm not going to back down from that. So there's something here about we're moving toward making a new decision as a collective. The judgment card is a reckoning. This is a crossroads, and the Two of Wands is the actual making of the decision. I am going towards joy. I'm going towards this 5D experience, this higher energetic experience. I am sharing, even though I'm telling the truth and I'm offloading people out of my life, I'm doing it from a place of love, especially love of self, right? I'm honoring myself when I speak my truth, and when I call things out, and when I tell the truth. There's your truth, my truth, and then there's the truth. There's an objective fact and has no opinions about making it good or bad. That's how we got into all of this, that we're making objective truth good or bad, and we're vilifying people who have a different perspective. So this high priestess says to me that you're now overriding your nervous system that has been all cattywampus, has been all kinds of discombobulated, and you're able to see. It's not a challenge anymore to be like, oh, well, I don't remember it that way. Oh, why are you telling me that this is what happened? It didn't happen like that. Why are you flat out lying to me about this? Like this is like a superpower. Okay. This is like a superpower, and it's coming, from the spiritual community. It does need to come from a place of love. Okay. Rather than from a place of pain or rage or fear or feeling lost, or feeling completely like opting out. I'm a failure in this life, and so I'm just going to take it out on other people through my rage, right? We're redefining sort of what life is for ourselves. We're really saying, like, this is my spiritual direction, and this is what I'm choosing for myself. I'm choosing to embrace love and freedom and neutrality and joy. I'm choosing to see shame and rage and hate as ways of looking at experience that is keeping people small, that is keeping people in fear, that is keeping people from their spiritual expression. Okay. So High Priestess, just final words here from you before I go to the rest here. Knight of Cups. Nine of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, and the Three of Cups. All right. So this weekend, as we get toward the new moon in Virgo, we are really going to be embracing kind of I just am seeing in my mind's eye like a fun house. Do you remember those with all the crazy mirrors and everything like that? And you can go through a bookcase and you get into another room and like you kind of can't get back. It won't let you get back here. That's what we're doing. We're going through this bookcase into another realm. And this new moon eclipse is going to sort of catapult us into the future. All right, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to look at what we don't see coming. I am going to look at blocks. I'm going to get some guidance from spirit, and let's see where this goes. All right. Link is below if you want to continue on. See you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.